Great. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How wonderful to see so many people here today. Thank you for joining us for our divine service this morning. And we welcome back to our platform a well-known and well-loved, respected member. She hates all this. The wonderful Elaine Bevan. Elaine, thank you for joining us today. We look forward to it. We'll just quietly remind everybody, please ensure your mobile phones are indeed turned off. So you look psychic. So thank you. And enjoy the service. Elaine, if I can hand over to you for the opening blessing, please.
Certainly.
Thank you, my darling.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
There's so many of you this morning. It's quite daunting. I'll tell you why later. But can we take a moment and come together, allow our hearts and minds to connect with that wonderful energy we know as the spirit world. Divine and creative source that we call God, as we come together, we know that there is a purpose for each one of us, not only within our own existence during this lifetime, but as part of a greater plan to work towards humanity's needs. We are at a time of great crisis, personally and collectively. And during this time, we know that those who have awakened their soul to understand the purpose that it is needed to undertake will now move into a time of work, cooperation, and upliftment. As always, we seek to bring some form of easement, of healing and upliftment into the lives of those we meet. And we give our gratitude, thanks and our love to all those who run any form of healing, upliftment group, society, for we know they too serve that wonderful and divine purpose which is yours. And now, dear friend, we hand this gathering into your hands, asking all that is said and done will be in your name, that is eternal love. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Elaine. That was beautiful.
I didn't know if that was a heckler just then.
No. They're saving up for later. So if you'd like to now please join in with saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thine will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not when in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you. And we now move our collective thoughts, minds and energies into that one shared thought, that one energy of healing. For we are all healers of many, many dispositions, be it spiritual, be it through word of mouth, through thought, through deed, it matters not. It all is encompassed by that banner of healing. So during this time where we play some meditative music to allow you to send your thoughts out to wherever you are drawn, be it the environment, friends, families, ourselves, wherever, send those thoughts of love and compassion, because they all act in that energy of healing. And we'd also invite you to, please, if there is a name of somebody that you wish to have a special remembrance today in this healing time, please just raise your hands. When I point to you, just simply call out their name. That is all that is needed. So I invite you now to share in this experience of working hand in hand with those healing energies. Thank you. divine and infinite Spirit, through whom all things are made possible, we give thanks for this time of collective healing, and sitting here and imbuing our energies with each and each other to send out that love and compassion. Amen. I'd now like to invite Elaine to deliver her part of this. Is a special service today, a Lyceum service. And that means that we share in some of the history and the rich knowledge that is in spiritualism. You're laughing at.
I'll pay you later.
Oh, okay.
The reason I said I was glad to see so many of you was I got an email early in the week saying, "Oh, you don't mind doing a Lyceum service, do you, Elaine?" I thought, Lyceum service? He said yes, on the history of spiritualism. I thought, oh, for goodness sake, because it is a very broad history if we look at it in its entirety. So I thought to upstairs, let's find an aspect that perhaps isn't as widely talked about as all the wonderful mediums of the past. So I've tried to focus on the cultural life at the time and the changes that were happening within society. But the reason I said I was glad so many of you, there's lots of dates in this and names, and I think he's taking notes and questioning you at the end. So be warned, you don't get out the door with answering a few questions, okay? So my research. Spiritualism was classed as a new religion based on the belief that the spirits of the dead exist and have the ability to communicate with the living. The afterlife, or the spirit world, is seen by spiritualists not as a static place, but as one in which spirits continue to evolve. These two beliefs, that contact with spirits is possible and that the spirits are more advanced than humans, lead spiritualists to a third belief, that spirits are capable of providing useful knowledge about moral and ethical issues, as well as about the nature of God. Some spiritualists also speak of a concept which they refer to as spirit guides, specific spirits that are often contacted and who are relied upon for spiritual guidance. Spiritism is a branch of spiritualism developed by Allan Kardec, and today is practiced mainly in continental Europe and Latin America, and especially in Brazil, where they emphasize reincarnation. Spiritualism developed and reached its peak growth in membership from the 1840s to the 1920s, especially in English-speaking countries. And by 1897, spiritualism was said to have more than 8 million followers in the United States and Europe, and these were mostly drawn from middle and upper classes. Spiritualism flourished for about half a century through newsletters, tours by trance mediums, camp meetings, and the missionary activities of accomplished mediums. Many prominent spiritualists were women, and like most spiritualists, they supported causes such as the abolition of slavery and women's suffrage. By the late 1880s, the credibility of the informal movement had been weakened a little due to accusations of fraud perpetrated by some mediums. And more formal spiritualist organizations then began to appear in these countries. Spiritualism is currently practiced primarily through various spiritualist churches in the United States, Canada, and the UK. But in Europe, in Catholic-based cultures, they're often called associations or groups or centres instead of churches. At the same time, the ideas of Emanuel Swedenborg, an 18th century Swedish engineer, philosopher, and mystic, also started to surge in popularity. And Swedenborg is often referred to as the father of spiritualism. He described an afterlife consisting of 3 heavens, 3 hells, and an interim destination, the world of the spirits, where everyone went immediately upon dying, and which was more or less similar to that which they were accustomed to on earth. He stated that self-love drove one towards varying degrees, or the lack of self-love drove one towards varying degrees of hell. Love for others would elevate one to the heavens. He wrote, "The Lord casts no one into hell, but those who are there have deliberately cast themselves into it and keep themselves there." He also claimed to have seen and talked with spirits on all the planes in the other dimension. Modern spiritualism, as we note it, dates from 1848, when the Fox sisters of Hydeville, New York, heard knocking sounds that were alleged to be messages from a discarnate spirit. 2 of the daughters, Maggie and Kate, gradually became brave enough to clap their hands and snap their fingers in an effort to communicate with these knocking sounds. And a series of raps responded to their initiative. Soon a simple code of communication was set up between the sisters and the invisible spirit who apparently resided in their house. On a late March day, Margaretta Fox, who was 14, and Kate, her 11-year-old sister, waylaid a neighbour eager to share this odd and frightening phenomenon. Every night around bedtime, they said, they heard a series of raps on the walls and in the furniture, and raps that seemed to manifest with a peculiar, otherworldly intelligence. The sceptical neighbour came to see for herself, joining with the girls in a small chamber they shared with their parents. While Maggie and Kate huddled together on their bed, their mother began the demonstration. "Now count to 5, she ordered, and the room shook with the sound of 5 heavy thuds. "Count 15, she commanded, and the mysterious presence obeyed. Next, she asked it to tell the neighbour's age. 33 distinct raps followed. "If you're an injured spirit," she continued, "manifest it by 3 raps." And it did. The Fox family eventually deserted the house and sent Maggie and Kate to live with their older sister, Leah, in Rochester, New York. The story might have died there were it not for the fact that at that time Rochester was a hotbed for reform and religious activity. And in the same place, the same area, which is called Finger Lakes region of New York, it gave birth to both Mormonism and Millerism, the precursor to Seventh-day Adventism, as well as spiritualism. Community leaders were intrigued by the Fox sisters' story and the subsequent rumour that the spirit likely belonged to a peddler who it was thought had been murdered in that farmhouse 5 years before. A group of Rochester residents examined the cellar of the Fox's home and uncovered strands of hair and what appeared to be bone fragments. And this was eventually confirmed 56 years later when more human hair and bones were discovered in the cellar along with the peddler's tin box. The house and the tin box now reside at Lilydale, which is the headquarters of the NSAC in New York. Now, the idea that one could communicate with spirits was hardly new. The Bible contains hundreds of references to angels administering to man. But the movement known as modern spiritualism sprang from several distinct revolutionary philosophies and characters. The ideas and practices of Franz Anton Mesmer, who was an 18th century German physician and was an early hypnotist, had spread to the United States, and by the 1840s was holding that country in thrall. Mesmer proposed that everything in the universe, including the human body, was governed by some form of magnetic fluid that could become imbalanced, thus causing illness. Amateur mesmerists, or hypnotists as we now call them, became a popular attraction at parties and in parlours, a few proving skillful enough to actually attract paying customers. Some people, when awakened from the mesmeric trance, actually claimed to have experienced visions of spirits from another dimension. The 19th century American seer Andrew Jackson Davis, who would become known as the John the Baptist of modern spiritualism, combined these ideologies, claiming that Swedenborg's spirit had spoken to him during a series of mesmeric trances. Davis recorded the content of these messages and in 1847 published them entitled The Principles of Nature, Her Divine Revelations, and A Voice to Mankind. It is a truth, he asserted, predicting the rise of spiritualism, that spirits commune with one another while one is in the body and the other is in the higher spheres. All the world will hail with delight the ushering in of that era when the interiors of men will be opened and the spiritual communication will be established. He went on to say in his diary, "About daylight this morning, a warm breathing passed over my face, and I heard a voice, tender and strong, saying, 'Brother, the good work has begun. Behold, a living demonstration is born.'" And this was just before the Hydesville rappings. Unlike their Christian contemporaries, Americans who adopted spiritualism believed that they had a hand in their own salvation and that direct communication with those who had passed offered insight into the ultimate fate of their own souls. Maggie, Kate and Leah embarked on a professional tour to spread the word of the spirits. They conducted sessions in hotel parlours, inviting as many as 30 attendees to gather around large tables at the hours of 10 a.m., 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. to take part in seances. Admission was $1, and visitors included preeminent members of New York society who witnessed sessions in which the spirits rapped in time to popular songs and spelled out messages such as, "Spiritualism will work miracles in the cause of reform." Some writers of the time argue that spiritualism was one of the first religions to become widespread through the actions of mass media. Spiritualism was socially different from other religions, particularly in the significant role played by women and lay people at that time. Apart from a quorum of Universalists and a few Unitarians, its leadership was almost entirely lay people, often women in a time when their sex had very slim opportunities to exercise any form of spiritual leadership. Early spiritualism, therefore, perceived itself as a voice of the progressive movement of the time. A wide variety of spirit manifestations could be found in cities, towns, villages, and spiritualist activities became a form of inspirational entertainment. By the 1860s, one could sit for spirit photographers, attend lectures on progressive social and religious issues, and take part in carefully orchestrated seances at which ghosts materialized, voices spoke through levitating trumpets, messages wrote themselves on sealed slates, and mediums' bodies emitted quantities of a strange, filmy substance known as ectoplasm. Some people embraced spiritualism's philosophical aspects. Others found its emotional components appealing, and still others would turn to it in crisis for a sense of stability. Women flourished as leaders within its organisation, And unfortunately, many people attended seances simply for entertainment. Spiritualism was popular, not just because it could entertain and provide comfort to the believer, but also because it seemed to combine discoveries of science, such as the invisible force of electricity, with the religious idea of an afterlife. One of the most influential mediums was Daniel Douglas Hume, who produced some of the most vibrant spirit manifestations. On one occasion, he is actually said to have levitated out of a bedroom window which was 70 feet above street level and back in again through the living room window. Hume survived attempts to show that he was a fraud, but he did polarize opinion. Some regarded him as real, while others thought he was contemptible. But the scientists who tested Hume did conclude that the phenomena was real. The movement gained further credibility with the support of distinguished people, including Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the scientist Sir Oliver Lodge, and the journalist Hanan Swaffer. He said, "The conclusion then of my long search after truth is that in spite of occasional fraud, which spiritualists deplore, and in spite of wild imaginings which they discourage, there remains a great solid core in this movement, which is infinitely nearer to positive proof than any other religious development within which I am acquainted." Spiritualism was not necessarily seen as a separate religious movement, though, but it was seen as a way of providing evidence to support religious beliefs in both life after death and the existence of the soul. Since scientists were providing more natural explanations for the universe, spiritualist manifestations provided religious people with evidence that there was more to the world than scientists had discovered. However, the Roman Catholic Church condemned spiritualism in 1898, and the Anglican Communion Conference passed the following resolution in 1920. The conference, while recognising that the results of investigations have encouraged many people to find a spiritual meaning and purpose in human life and led them to believe in survival after death, sees grave dangers in the tendency to make a religion of spiritualism. In the 1920s, there were around 250,000 practicing spiritualists and some 2,000 spiritualist society in the UK. The Fraudulent Mediums Act was brought in 1951 to make it illegal for people to pretend to act as spiritualist mediums for money or reward. And this act was changed in April 2008, and fraudulent mediums are now covered by consumer protection legislation, namely the Consumer Protection from Unfair Trading Regulations 2008. The first UK spiritualist church opened in 1853 in Keighley in Yorkshire, and the first spiritualist newspaper was published 2 years later in the same area. The first national spiritualist meeting was held in the UK in 1890, and in 1882 the Society for Psychical Research was founded to examine apparently paranormal phenomena using rigorous and unbiased scientific investigation. Now, in modern times, the SNU, which is the British Spiritualist National Union, was founded from a collection of churches in 1890 in Manchester. And it had been originally the Spiritualist National Federation, founded by Emma Hardinge Britton, an amazing medium. She also started the Two Worlds magazine, which is still going today. The union has been recognised legally by the Home Office as an appointing body for spiritualist ministers since 1939, and in 1948 it merged with the British Lyceum Union, which had been founded in 1890 for the education of youth and children. Now, the union is made up of affiliated churches, individual members, and mission churches. And they adopted the 7 principles as their religious philosophy in 1871. They were given by Robert Owen through the mediumship of Emma Hardinge Britton. The Greater World Christian Spiritualist Association was founded in 1931 as the Greater World Christian Spiritualist League. And it grew out of the Zodiac Circle, which was organised in the early 1920s around the mediumship of Winifred Moyes. Moyes was a channel who transmitted teachings from an entity entitled Zodiac, who claimed he was a temple scribe at the time of Jesus Christ. And these teachings were first transmitted at a small home circle she had on Sunday evenings, but it rapidly grew into a membership of 20,000 people across Britain, and they produced the weekly newspaper, The Greater World. Now, test your memory here. Members of the association have to subscribe to 8 basic beliefs arising from the teachings of Zodiac. First one, I believe in one God who is love. 2, I accept the leadership of Jesus Christ. 3, I believe that God manifests through the inimitable power of the Holy Spirit. 4, I believe in the survival of the human soul and its individuality after physical death. 5, I believe in the communion with God, with his angelic ministers, and with the soul's functioning in conditions other than earth life. 6, I believe that all forms of life are created by God. They intermingle, are interdependent, and evolve until perfection is attained. 7, I believe in the perfect justice of divine laws governing all life. And 8, I believe that sins committed can only be rectified by the sinner himself or herself through the redemptive power of Jesus Christ by repentance and service to others. I wonder if they change very much today. Now, today there are many independent churches, groups, societies, associations, both in the UK and globally. And most state that they're non-denominational and that anyone from any type of belief, faith, or absolutely no faith at all is welcome to attend their meetings. Some of them will follow slightly mystical paths. Others try to emulate traditional churches and appoint ministers, reverends, or pastors to run or guide their church organisation. Most are run by democratically appointed committees, which are known as trustees now in the UK. And I'm sure you didn't realise this, but churches have to submit financial records to the HMRC, just like any other charity, and they're not allowed to hold a vast financial surplus without being able to demonstrate its purpose in maintaining church buildings and upholding the religious philosophy. Now, I think it's interesting that despite, when we talk about the history of spiritualism, we often focus on the mediums, the personalities of the day, but I think you'll see there was massive social change occurring at that time. And one thing I haven't put in, on the time the voice came through and said, brother, behold, a new faith, a new belief has started, it also advised the world, the spirit voice, that whilst there would be an upsurge in spiritual wealth, there was also going to be an upsurge in material wealth. And that happened 4 years before they discovered the American gold mines across great big tracts of America. So suddenly society saw an upsurge in material wealth at the time spiritual wealth was also growing. So you've got to remember, time has no meaning to the spirit world. It's all the eternal now. And I hope you were listening, because he will ask you questions now. You know that, don't you? And I just want to say as finishing, he has a habit of springing things on people. I arrived last night at tea time, and at 6:30 he said to me, you're all right then to do the talk tonight on circles. I went, what? You are joking. He went, no, you'll be fine. I went, last time I did a talk with you, I ended up swearing accidentally on the camera. What happened last night? Repeat performance. Thank you for listening, friends.
Elaine, thank you so much. These Lyceum services are important because it is time we reconnected with all the aspects of spiritualism. It's become very, very blinkered over the last 30 years, and it is this time where people can find great source of comfort, upliftment and development from our movement with the education. So thank you. Beautiful. We now have a piece of music for today, which is All Creatures of Our God and King. If you wish to sing along, please do. Just listen, absolutely fine. I hand over to Elaine for her demonstration of evidential mediumship, just remind you this is a conversation between the two worlds. So it requires you to converse. It's not hard. So if Elaine should come to you, nice clear yes, no, maybe, or I don't understand.
Yes, no, maybe, I don't understand.
There you go. See, you're one step ahead of me, so there is no excuse.
Thank you, dear.
Elaine, my darling.
Can I come to the gentleman at the back who just did the collection, please, sir? Thank you. I have a lady standing on your left-hand side, which for me is mother's side of the family. She's like myself, not overly tall, I need to say to you. And I can hear her voice. She's saying, but she was very fussy about things being in the correct place in the home. Do you understand this? I felt that this lady could hold a conversation with you and tidy things away at the same time, and you'd be following her around the house as she was dusting and polishing. So she had a very good eye for detail. Do you understand that? As she connects with you, she was talking to me about there's been a little bit of lowness of spirit this last year. Would you understand this? Nothing drastic. No. I know we've had the pandemic, but I felt that the buoyancy that's normally you hasn't been as obvious to her as it had been previous, okay? And she was saying that at times you've worried about the state of society and the world, and it's almost frustrated you. Would you understand that feeling? Because she's laughing. She said if she was still around, there'd be a few clips round the ears and pulling people up short by the collar. Because at a time when we hope society would come together, we have also seen evidence of meism, selfishness and ego. Do you understand that? And I know that for you, she's saying that there's been a subtle change in pathway. It's not that you've gone off a path, but you've just changed subtle direction. Do you understand this? And she's saying to me, you've wanted to be involved with people that think more like you, not just spiritually, but ethically. Does that make sense to you? Thank you. Okay. And she's laughing at you now. She's saying, well, you did ask for the job, sunshine. Now just sit back and watch it unfold. So I feel there's lots of plans for you. And I think this is very true to her state of mind. You couldn't sit around while this lady was hovering and moving. You'd have to be doing something as well. But can I say to you, there's an immense pride emanates from this lady. I can feel her energy. And she's saying, don't let whatever the other side is saying, doing or behaving affect your principles. Your principles, she said, are how you live your life. Do you understand that? Okay, now March very quickly flew over the top of your head, so that has to mean an anniversary. Good, you've got it. And I know that she was, I want to say, use the phrase, you know, a good Christian soul. You understand, I'm not necessarily referring to the church she went to, but her ethics were very much part of her everyday life. And she just jokingly said to me, he was brung up well, he was brung up well. So I know this lady was also an amusing character at times, can I say. So I'm going to leave her love with you and say thank you for your work on behalf of Spirit. Can I come to the young man? Where's your friend hiding? The young man in front. Oh, good. Hello, darling.
Oh, don't set her off.
Oh, she's a woman, is she? I've got two
yes.
of them. Yeah. They make more noise than I do, and my husband really can't believe that, but they do. So can I come to you, sir? Thank you. Okay. I'm aware of a gentleman connecting from your father's side of the family, but I don't feel I've got dad. I feel I have to go up a generation to grandfather, okay? So are you happy for me to work with them? Yeah. Okay, because I know a lot of people don't always remember their grandparents, but as this gentleman comes in, I have a very upright man, both physically and I want to say morally. He'd be a bit pedantic about the meaning of things. Do you understand this?
I don't really know my granddad.
I knew you were going to say that. Are you happy for me to still work with him? Okay, because his detail to the written word or the spoken word, I feel is also a trait that comes within yourself. You don't like waffle, he's telling me, and you don't like people who fudge things. Does this make sense to you? So he knows your energy even though you may not remember his. As this gentleman comes in, he's just saying to me, you've walked a lonely path at times in your life. Do you understand this? And I think not just ethically, but there have been times he's showing me that you've had to go inward and reflect on what you're doing with your own life. Does this make sense to you, sir? Thank you. And I know that has been a costly exercise at times for you, because it's almost like you isolate yourself and you don't let people get close. And he's saying to me, in fact, you find it easier to deal with animals than human beings sometimes. Do you understand that? Because he's saying their love shines from their eyes. He said, unfortunately, with the human being, that might say one thing, but often what's coming out of here is something entirely different. Yes? And I know as he says that, he has witnessed some of the hurt in your life, okay? I know too, you're a very practical energy, because he's showing me that. You're pretty good at solving things, he tells me. And I feel, you know, I could quite happily give you a screwdriver and you wouldn't run amok. You'd be very cautious in what you do. Because I know I've got, from this gentleman's energy, he's showing me, you are a thinker, an organizer, you're a structured individual. And he's asking you to put that energy to good use in your life, not through career. He's talking about the more moral issues around you. Be the person who says, whoa, talk to the hand, we're not having that nonsense here, or that's the line, cross it at your peril. Because I know also there is a gentleness in you, and you don't wish to give offence. This is what he's telling me. But he said sometimes we've just got to say enough is enough. Do you understand? So I know this gentleman's going to be guiding you and pushing you, sir. So you're not going to be able to hide in the corner and let her do all the talking. You're going to have to be the one that draws the line in the sand. Now, as the lady's energy just coming in before he withdraws, and I need to take this lady's energy to your mother's side of the family. So I'm looking for a female relative. I feel of mother's generation. She's not saying it's mother yet. I've got to get her in closer. But as I'm linking with this energy, I've got a real softness of personality, a quietness of this individual. And I feel I have someone, I want to say, who was very gentle and generous with her time for other people. Would you understand a lady on mum's side? It could be mum, because it's that sort of generation, but she hasn't actually said to me she's mum. Do you understand this? Okay, let me get some more information. Right. As she's coming in, I have a lady, I feel, who was very slow to criticise. It would not be a natural response in her. You know, if you upset her, she wouldn't be straight back at you. She has this real gentle spirit that would be almost, I can feel her standing back if someone upset her and thinking, no, what's happening here? Is this person really upset with me, or is there something going on in their life that's upsetting them and they're just dissipating that energy outwards? Did you have an aunt on mum's side who would have been that understanding about people's behaviour, please?
Well, I was adopted, so does that make a difference?
It does, unfortunately. Not your fault, darling, not your fault. You see, the spirit world don't see adoptions and in-laws, they just see the people that brought us up and cared for us. So I do have this energy to the side. So I feel I'm looking more for an aunt. I want you to really think about that, okay? Because what's coming across is this understanding of other people's pain is often the thing that triggers their behaviour. And she must be telling me that for a reason. So there has to be something going on around you where someone's perhaps being a bit unsettling, a bit unpleasant or irritating. And you know what we're like? We're emotional beings. We think, oh God, what have I done now? What have I said? She's saying, this is not your energy. This is not your battle. So you have to recognise where that is and remember, stay out of it. Because the moment we get a response, an emotional response, the energy comes back into our life and it's not yours to deal with, okay? Thank you. She just said, this is not your fight. This is for someone else to deal with, all right? I can hear her. She's not going to let me go without saying, you may have been adopted, sir, but she's saying you were truly loved from all those, this side of life and the other side of life. Don't ever let that title make you feel less than 101% in her eyes, okay? It is just a word. It's not a state of being, okay? So God bless you. Thank you very much for working with me. Oh, right, okay. You two that are together, I know the energy suddenly landed in between you, so I'm not quite sure who I'm with. Yeah, all right, you can share it. I know it's going to come to the chap first, because he's that sort of energy, isn't it? It's, yeah, okay, all right, and you can. If I say to you, sir, you're a lot like your father, I don't mean physically. Do you understand this?
Oh, well,
Okay, but I'm talking mentally because there's a male energy coming in. It's what I call a mental energy. That doesn't mean mad to any of you who are not spiritualist mediums. It means works very much with the mind in the thought process, very structured. And as this gentleman's coming in, all right, he's laughing now. I'm going to say what he said, I'm sorry. He said he was carrying a few less pounds than you are, Sunshine. He may have looked like you or you looked like him, but was a few less pounds. You're going to deny that now, aren't you?
No,
Okay, because he was grinning at you. So this man, very quick mind, but I have to say, also very astute in how he lived his life. He's the sort of person that read between the lines when people were giving him a load of guff and a load of fluff. You know, he's doing exactly what you're doing. I'm thinking about this, I'm listening to this, and I'm not sure how much of it I believe. But very polite. He would never offend you or throw it back in your face. I have the feeling of real business energy about him. Someone who was very structured, very organised, very... I keep getting business energy, so he's not telling me what he did in his career life, but he said if you need something sorted, he was the man to go to. Do you understand that? Yeah. And he said, unfortunately, you've inherited that tendency. And then he's laughing because he said, 7 days in the week, you need an 8th. Because you'll always find there's one day of the week where you're doing everything for everybody else and not for you two. Do you understand this? Yep. Okay. Well, he said, hard luck. He said, God's stopped at 7 and you're going to have to put up with it. Okay. But as he brings that energy in, I know that the two of you work together because he's linking the energy around you. And he said, that's why we have another half, so that we don't try to do it all. Because, Sarah, I have to say to you, his only concern is you have pushed your physical health a little bit in the last year. Do you understand this? Thank you. Because I was waiting for her to say, yeah, you to go, no, but she'd go, yeah. Because women are much more honest about that. And he's saying, why do you think there's two players in this game of life? Because sometimes we support each other, he said, and sometimes one of us carries the other, okay? So I know what you do spiritually is going to be a long-term plan from the spirit world. It's not something that's got an end in sight, except when you're back on the other side. It's something that's going to grow and evolve in your life. Now, I have to say, I don't know what you're doing in the church, but I know it's got to have healing energy in it. But I need to take that also outside of this church. Does this make sense to you, please? Oh, okay, thank you. I was just thinking, oh my God, they're going to have to get a mortgage next for a building. Because I had to really look at it. When I say business, I'm using it in the content of a spiritual business. Do you understand this? I'm not talking about, you know, the next Marks and Spencers or Asda or whatever. A business that grows and educates at the same time. So it's not just doing, it's changing the future for people. It's enabling. Does this make sense to you? And I see that energy is already present, and this gentleman's telling me, you knew this was on the cards anyway. This is not a new idea. It's something that's grown in both of you over a period of time, he's telling me. And all that you do is say, how will we achieve all that? He said, it's already in place. The energy's there. You have to just work out the fine detail, I'm afraid, okay? So know that it is business with a small b, but it's where the spirit world want you, working very much alongside them. Yes, I see you, sir. He's just telling me, because he brought him in, you've had a doctor in a white coat appear beside you, haven't you?
Recently.
Yeah.
Well, I had an operation last year.
No, I'm not talking really, you twit. Not in physical. Your father brought in a spirit doctor in a white coat. Oh, do you know the dead are so much easier than the living? Okay. And because I just saw the white coat come in behind him, you have this influence when you're working in your healing vibration.
Okay,
and he's laughing because your dad just said, go and get Franz Mesmer. He probably needs a bit of hypnosis now. But he's laughing because he sees that spirit as now moving much more visible in the work that you do. So not just you, but your patients will say, who was the guy in the white coat that just left the room or crossed the doorway? So be prepared for questions from your patients. Now, he won't let me go without bringing the energy to the lady. And I'm sorry, darling, but he said, you get the mental cases. It's as simple as that. Do you understand this?
Sort of.
Okay. when he said that, what he means is you're going to get the emotional cases where there is a need for perhaps a slightly gentler touch, you understand? And I don't mean touch physically, I mean touch emotionally. It isn't mental as in mental illness, it's mental as in emotional turmoil. And he's saying, you know already that you have a very good listening ear, he's showing me. Because just as he needs 8 days a week, you need a lock on the door sometimes, don't you? Keep them out, because there is so little time for the two of you, he tells me. But he wants you to know that your energies are so strongly compatible that the spirit world really are champing at the bit, wanting to work much harder, much fast. Ooh, fast is always worrying, you know.
This is music to his ears.
Oh, right. You can pay me later, okay. Well, I've got to get my own back somehow, haven't I, after what he's put me through. No, he's saying there is a... Right, he just smacked me for a moment. I mean nicely. He said, serious, let's get serious. You know there is a real need. You know that not just healing of the physical body, but the emotional... and he's actually getting emotional. The emotional trauma that globally the world has gone through over the last few years and currently, he said, thank God he's in the spirit world. That's all he can say. Because God help us, they see a darn sight further than we do. And he couldn't be in this low vibration anymore. He said, at least now I can see when the light resurges and when compassion and love becomes a vibration again. So I know he's around you both, and watch out for the white coat syndrome, okay? Bless you both, thank you. All right, I've shut over here. I'm not sure where I'm going. Just bear with me a second. Thank you. I feel it's the lady with the striped top, sweetheart. May I speak to you? Thank you. There's a female energy connecting with me, and I feel I need to go up mother's side, but to grandmother generation. When I say I have a pragmatic lady, if you had a problem, she would put it very much in its place. It wasn't really a problem. Don't worry yourself about it. Forget it. You know, the sort of person that said, so what, it's raining and there's a leak in the roof. I'm not worried. Put the bucket underneath it. Pragmatic, practical, nothing phased her. Do you understand a maternal grandmother of that? Thank you very much. As she's coming in, I've got to say to you, she's making me aware there's been an awful lot of emotion around you lately. Does this make sense in your physical life, please? A lot of emotion around you. Say no if you can't understand it. It doesn't... No, it's not you, right? It's not you. You're quite calm. There's an emotional situation around you, she's showing me.
Right, yeah, got it.
Thank you. All right. Oh, I told you the dead were easier. But she's saying it's almost engendered a reaction in you. Do you understand this? Yeah. It's like they got very close to pressing that red button that says nuclear, and she just said, whoa, back off, let go of that, all right? Yeah. So I know whoever's troubling the energy around you, she's quite concerned that you will react, and she doesn't want you to, because I have to say, you could play poker, couldn't you? Yes, you could. Go and join a casino quickly, because she's showing me deadpan. You're pretty good at being absolutely deadpan, even when people are giving you a hard time. But that's come very close to upsetting your balance, your equilibrium. So she's saying, back off, all right? Thank you, just a minute. She's saying to me, wherever that upset, that emotion is, someone's actually trying it on a little bit, I've got to say to you. There's exaggeration going on about the situation. It's not just black and white, it's being made all sorts of colours and all sorts of things are being said. And she said, you stay out of it because you're not getting the hard data, okay? I can understand that. And she said the reason she's so firm in saying that to you is you've been in a situation where you have been disbelieved in the past, haven't you? In your life. Anybody there? Yeah, okay, just checking. Just checking you hadn't passed quietly. Yeah. And she's saying to be disbelieved when you're telling the truth is devastating. But she said to be disbelieved when you're lying, then you get your fingers burned. So whoever or whatever's going on, stand back and let them deal with it. Now, there's children around you on the earth plane, she's showing me. Younger energies, please. Younger energies. You've got no relatives that are younger than you?
Or slightly younger, but I won't call them children.
All right. No, I'm seeing young, because when they show me the generations, your generation's shoulder height, parents is here, grandparents is here,
Yeah.
younger than us, the energy's here.
Okay.
So I'm seeing energies around you that are younger than you, so the generation below you, please. And there's something to do with the material path of one of them, because she's showing me someone's choices about pathway, about career, about development, because there's a financial implication. That's what she's showing me, okay?
Yeah.
It's not for us to tell people what to do, but I feel you need to advise caution for that individual, because again, they're not seeing the full picture of where that path's going. And the spirit world always see just a bit further down the line than we do. And she's saying she doesn't want that one to waste energy, waste time, okay? So, thank you. So do the good aunt bit. Say, well, sit down and tell me all about it. What research have you done? What's the timescales? What's the salary? Get them to think about where it is they want to go so that you can give some advice. All right, just a minute now. She keeps putting something around your neck. Do you have a necklace that belonged to this lady, please? Because she keeps putting something around your neck as if there's something on the earth plane, like a necklace that would have belonged to her, please.
Maybe, I haven't got it.
You haven't got it, okay. All right. All right, so I'm just reading your aura for a moment. You've heard spirit, haven't you? I think I have.
I
Yeah.
thought, yeah.
Yeah, you have, because where she took me to the necklace part is actually your throat chakra, and I'm watching her just opening that energy up, and it's blue, and the throat chakra is actually linked to clairaudience. It's linked to the ear, and she just opened, and I saw the energy pathway. So I know now that even if you can't find a necklace, though I'm sure there is one, she's telling me about you hearing more, okay? So when you sit bolt upright in the middle of the night because someone's called your name, know it's the spirit world and you haven't got a burglar who knows you personally, okay? Because they do that, you know. They do. They call you and you think, what's that? Who's that? It's just to test the energy building. Are you working in the church, can I ask? Don't you dare stop me. Are you working in the church, can I? Is she working in the church?
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
I've got to say there's much more development needed.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, because they're showing me more steps, more, you know, and the steps are going upwards. So you're not going to be able to sit there and not get involved, I'm afraid, sweetheart, all right? So God bless you, thank you. Don't, it's just I could feel you withdrawing the energy, and you mustn't because I've been very slow. All right, can I come to you, darling? Do you know, there's a lady in the spirit world that's got exactly the same shaped face as you, exactly the same cheekbones as you. This has to be a blood relative, either mother or grandmother, okay? Because, you know, if I take your face, I could put it on a photograph of this person, all right? Come on in, darling. You're a bit of a character, this lady's telling me. Do you understand that? I'm being told that you can be quite irreverent at times, a bit like me swearing on camera when I'm not supposed to. You know, you can be a bit human. Can I put it that way to you? And this lady actually admires that in you, I've got to say, because she said you're always well grounded. You have no flights of fantasy, no daft ideas. Stop it. She said you wouldn't ask a medium for the lottery numbers, would you, dear? No, exactly, because you know we have to carve our own path out. Now, as she's coming in close to you, I feel that this lady, she's not told me who she is yet, but we're on that side. As she comes in close, I have the feeling of someone who had quite a hard life financially. I feel there was very little money in her growing up years. In fact, I see quite a sparse existence. And I feel she was one. There weren't lots of children of her generation, but even so, her parents struggled to give her a lot of affection in terms of things. Do you understand that? But she's talking to me about how she developed a very determined character, and she was going to do it for herself, get things for herself. She wasn't going to rely on anyone. Do you understand that vibration? Because I feel it has trickled down that side of the family. If you want it, go out and get it, you know. Don't wait for someone to give you that opportunity, take you there, just do it. And as she shows me that in you, because now I can see the energy coming down, that's been the story of your life, she tells me. You've been very independent. Do you understand this? Yeah. And don't do that, because she's picking up your vibration. Yeah, I just felt the emotion flood you, and it floods in them too. It's cost you an awful lot of tears, though, hasn't it, to be there? And she said you have been so lonely at times because I've got to push her back. tears will overwhelm. It's the trouble when you're a medium because you are in the middle of this energy. And she just said there have been times in the darkness the tears have flowed 101 times. It's been like a flood. Do you understand this?
Yeah.
Where I've had to let go of things, but I have to do it in private. And she said, darling, you're never alone. You may think it's dark and no one can see and hear you. She said, but that's where we are. Wherever you are, whenever you're hurt, we are with you. This lady would have been very determined practically and physically in her life because, as I say, she had very little. I know too that when the chips have been down for you, you've never lost your compassion. Do you understand this? If someone came to the door and it was your last tea bag, you'd still say, hang on, go and make yourself a cup of tea, darling. Because she said, you understand what it's like to feel that there is nothing out there and no one out there for you. She said, well, we're here for you because we know you're there for them. Okay? God bless you, sweetheart. Thank you for working with me. I'm so sorry I didn't get around more people. I do apologise.
That's outrageous.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But thank you for working with me, ladies and gentlemen.
Elaine, thank you. Move on to the notices. Tomorrow night, Monday night, is our Healing Development Night. Just remind the church registered healers to be here for 6:45. Everybody else who wishes to receive healing, if you come for 7:15. This Wednesday at 3 o'clock we have a divine service, and that's being taken by Kevin Hales, who is coming to us from Lowestoft. Next Sunday, 11 a.m, we have a divine service, and that's being taken by Geraldine Swain from Bognor Regis. On Saturday the 21st, we have a weekend with Julianne Harper, who's coming up from Plymouth. On the Saturday night at 7 o'clock, we'll be having a demonstration of mediumship, and there'll be a charge of £8 on the door. And then she'll staying overnight with us and also taking the divine service on Sunday the 22nd at 11 a.m. Saturday the 4th of June, we have a workshop with Jack Eckhart, who's coming over from Denmark to be with us for a while. And it's a workshop for evidential mediums and these are people who are either very well versed at sitting in circle and delivering communication from spirit, or indeed working on the platform already. And it's about exploring the evidence. It's to go that little bit deeper with our evidence. So that's Saturday, 4th of June. Online activities, Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, Monday evening at 7 o'clock, we have an online meditation, 5-minute meditation. And Saturday nights at 7 o'clock, we have our Lyceum nights online. I've been asked to extend a thanks to everybody on behalf of the lovely Jim, who had a wonderful time with us last Sunday, and we also managed to celebrate your birthday. So Jim, it was our pleasure.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Absolutely fine. Thank you for what you bring into the church and with your poetry and just your presence. So thank you. I'll hand over to the wonderful Elaine now. The absolutely magnificent and glorious Elaine for the closing blessings. Thank you, my darling.
If we can come together once more, dear friends. Divine Spirit, we send our love and gratitude to our friends in the spirit world who have been with us and who've drawn close to support, guide and uplift us. And for those who were not able to hear from their loved one, we ask that they make their presence felt in the lives of those they love and miss, that they guide them, they influence their choices in the world ahead. For we know that the love that comes from the spirit world does not die. It is eternally surrounding and influencing us. We ask too, dear friend, that the people who run churches, societies and groups are given the support and guidance they need to be that ever-open door for those in times of trouble, to allow healing, upliftment and easement to enter their life. And now we place this service back into your care, dear friend, until we meet again. Amen.
Amen. Elaine, thank you. Last night, thank you. Well, that sounds wrong. The online program last night, thank you. Recovering myself. Good. Don't laugh, I'm not going to look at you. Our wonderful service date That was great. The Lyceum service, absolutely wonderful. A number of you have got private sittings, which are now all fully taken with Elaine, so I'm sure, I think you were first, young man. Everybody else, have a wonderful, beautiful day. Look at it. Look, the colours out there are amazing. The sky is so blue, the green is green. Go out and
Enjoy it.
get into that vibration. Thank you. And it's so nice to see Poppy is training her owner very well at the back there. So every time she whinges, she gets a sweet. Very well done, Poppy. You're training Daddy extremely well.
No, I've got an energy drink with me. I love me.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for the message.
You're welcome.